Hi, everybody. My name is Lucas, and I have the honor of being one of the speakers in this amazing ceremony to honor my good friend Javon. We went to school together for 3 years. We ministered together. Javon was actually one of my groomsmen. That was such a fun time. It was almost 4 years ago, though. That's pretty crazy. But anyways, I'm just very excited. You just graduated. You got your master's, and the reason for that is because God, He has actually been ordering your steps. Like He ordered your steps, and He will continue on doing that. Because one day I think actually I've heard that song from you. There's a song that talks about the name of the Lord. I think is from a verse in Proverbs that says that the name of the Lord is a tower of strength, and the righteous ones they will run to the name and find refuge. I remember, if you guys don't know Javon, he's the kind of guy that sleeps for about 4 hours a day. It's pretty insane, Like everybody else in the dorm will be sleeping. It's 3:30 in the morning, and Javon is going to bed at 3:30 in the morning to wake up at 5 to go to basketball practice. That's just crazy to me. But it's interesting that during those periods that Javon would be up while everybody else would be sleeping. If I would wake up and walk around, and if I was studying, doing homework, I would go to his room. He was studying with worship being played. Some people would complain that he was playing worship at 2:30 a.m. But that was one of his characteristics. He was a man that was very passionate about worship. He was passionate about the praises of God, and he was passionate. Javon, you are a man that is passionate about the name of the Lord, and you are always running to the name of the Lord, regardless of circumstances and situations and seasons of life. You're running to the name of God. And every time that people choose to run to the name of the Lord, they are protected in the journey, and God, as the lamp for their feet, can actually guide their steps. And that's what God is doing in your life right now. I have one more episode I would like to share with you guys, one more thing that happened in Seattle, actually. Javon and I, we went on this ministry trip with some people from our Bible college to this church over nearby Seattle. And on the Sunday before the service, actually on the Sunday of the service, like during breakfast, one of the elders' grandsons, he was about 4 years old. He came up to Javon and I, and his grandpa, that was one of the elders, he was like, "Oh, do you want to pray for them?" And the little kid, the cutest thing ever, he prayed for Javon and I. And I remember the kids saying, "God, I pray for building powers." And I remember Javon going crazy. And that's one of our jokes to this day. Building power. Sometimes I would call Javon out of nowhere, or he just calls me. He's like, "Hey man, God's giving you building powers because of that prayer from that little 4-year-old kid that prayed over us." And that's what I believe that God is doing in you. He's giving you building powers because you are called to actually build the kingdom. You are called to build the church. That's why it's such a privilege and such an honor for me to speak here, to honor you, because you are not just my friend. You are a kingdom man. You are somebody that cares for what God is doing in the church, not just here in the US, not just in Florida, but all over the world. And you are getting ready. That's what your master's was all about, to actually empower you so you can put those building powers that God has placed inside of you to display. That's what God called you for. You got to display those building powers and actually build and speak and teach and exhort people and prophesy, because you were called for that. There's a verse, and I'm going to end with that. It's in the letter of Ephesians. You know where I'm going with this, Javon. Ephesians chapter 4, starting verse 11 all the way through verse 14 and 15. It says that Paul explains of how Jesus that died, that was crucified, died on the cross. He raised from the dead, and when he raised from the dead, he gave gifts to man: apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, to equip the saints for the work of ministry, until we all attain that fullness of the measure of Christ. That's a power. It gets me excited every time I talk about Ephesians 4. Every time we discuss Ephesians chapter 4, we get hyped up, because that's what God is doing, and that's what He called you to do. With no doubt in my heart, I believe that you are one of those ministers that Jesus has called to build His kingdom. And now I'm so proud of you. You graduated, you got your master's. Now it's time to go and to build the kingdom and to equip the saints for the work of ministry. So proud of you. Can't wait to see you again. You have the time of your life today. It's about what Jesus has been doing in your life. I'm excited. I wish I could be there though. I wish. But I thank God for technology. It's good to be with you guys virtually. It's very good. So thank you and love you, dude. Bye.